All right, guys, good afternoon. Billy, the first home buyer specialist, accompanied with Zach from Shore Financial, the finance guru. We're going to be talking about the first home buyer changes that no one's talking about, but these are the things that you need to be kept up to speed with in buying your first home. Hello, Zach.
Billy, how you going, mate? In the new room there, looks great.
This is the new studio, guys. The new green room. We've got through the teething problems now, but it's still feeling a bit fresh, a bit new.
No, it looks good, mate. And what a topic to bring it in with.
Yeah. There's some pretty big changes that it moves so quickly. This stuff, it's even it catches the real estate agents off guard. But this stuff is vital. You must know about it, and we're going to cover it in a quick 5-minute segment today. There's probably 4 changes that really striked me as some big differences to what they were before. So let's just clarify what they've changed and what the new, what it's looking like as you move forward as of the 1st of July.
Yeah, that's right. And like both of them are designed to help people enter the property market, and they are considerable changes with the offering being considerably greater than where it's come from. So, I mean, we can kick off, I guess, holistically. There are 2 that are relevant for people purchasing in New South Wales. One is a state-based scheme, which is the New South Wales state government. That's the first home buyer assistance scheme. And then the other one is to do more so with the banks, which is a national-based scheme. So a federal level scheme that's the first home guarantee. So, happy to start off with the FBAS, the First Home Buyer Assistance Scheme changes since the 1st of July. What have you heard, Billy?
Well, talk us through it. So one's more the numbers side, how you're going to actually finance the property, and then the other is how the government's going to help you do that. Do you want to start with the table? So there's been a bit of change to the concession rates. I think that's the biggest one to begin with. So previously, the government was saying to first home buyers, any property in New South Wales under $650,000, you'll pay no stamp duty, which is great. From $650,000 up to $800,000, there was a concessional rate. But what we found is, particularly on the northern beaches, for any local buyers here, it wasn't allowing you to get into much more than your entry level sort of 1 or 2 bedrooms. But anything more than that, you're a bit stuck. Now they've changed that, which is really positive. Anything under 800,000, you'll now pay 0, and anything from 800,000 to $1 million, that's the new concession rate.
And that's most of the apartment market in the northern beaches, right? Like especially for the entry point, being at that 750 to 800 for your 1s and 2s, and something a little bit older, and then you work your way up. I know you guys have a lot of stock, especially in DY, for the range of relevance. So yeah, I mean it's great to see the property value caps increased, because it does open another segment of the market to first home buyers, and potentially keeps people where they'd rather be. Now, another one of the big changes, which we talked about earlier, which was quite surprising, is the actual living requirement. So you now have to live in the property for a minimum of 12 months. That's come from 6 months as a minimum, but it's all still within the first 12 months. So if you get to the 11th month of owning the property, and you decide to move in, then it's minimum 12 months from the day that you move in, any time within the first 12 months of ownership. So that's another key change that I guess has slipped a lot of people. And I mean, when you go onto the website for the Revenue New South Wales grants and schemes, it does actually require you to click on a separate link to go into the requirements for living in the property. So yeah, something to be wary of. And I mean, look, the idea is that it's getting people into the housing market to own their own place.
That's it. So just be wary of it. Be conscious that the eligibility is not changed at all on any of this. In fact, it's it's pretty much identical. The big sticking point though is that you must live in the property for 12 months within purchasing it. After that first sort of 12 months. So you can still buy the property with an investment, with a tenant in there as an investment. You've just got to be sort of planning ahead. So that's one change. The second change, in terms of eligibility, you can now buy as far as going with like a brother or sister. So they're a de facto.
Yeah, so you can, as long as the spouse or partner hasn't owned or co-owned a residential property in Australia, then you're good to go. And you can also buy if you're a couple and only one of you is a citizen or a permanent resident. So that's another good one for people who are waiting on their PRs, people who are purchasing with a couple, with a partner who's already a PR or a citizen. I mean, the eligibility states that at least one of the first home buyers must be an Australian citizen or a permanent resident. So again, it's just, I guess, extending the market for who is actually able to purchase a first home and reap the benefits of the discounts. So the discounts are that you don't pay stamp duty up to 800, as Billy said, and then a concessional rate up to $1 million. So I think up at $990,000, the discount on stamps is only $1,500. So it's not much, but that sweet spot of 800 where you're paying zero, and even at 850, you're still getting a $25,000 discount on your upfront stamps. So it's a considerable chunk back in your pocket if you have been saving for that cost. Otherwise, it's all rudimentary stuff. Over 18, must be an individual and not a company or a trust, and it must be for the whole property, obviously within those threshold price brackets.
Yeah. Another big change that I wanted to mention was homeowners that have been out of the market for more than 10 years or 10 years. There's a little bit of movement there. So if you did own a property, you've sold and been out of your own property in terms of ownership for more than 10 years, you can now also get back into the marketplace with some of these grants. Do you want to give us a bit more info on that, Zach?
Yeah, so good segue into the National Housing and Finance realm. So the federal-based scheme for first home buyers.
Yep.
Again, it's now open to permanent residents. There's still the same income caps for if you're applying as a single and as a joint application. So 125K for singles and 200K is your maximum income as a couple, your household income. And yeah, as you said, first home buyers can be previous homeowners as long as they haven't owned a property in Australia in the last 10 years. So that's pretty massive. It brings, people who might have been, in the market once upon a time and have stepped out or have returned home. It gives them the opportunity, if they have not owned a property in Australia for the last 10 years, to get back in. And this is basically the guarantee where the government will let you purchase with as little as 5% as a deposit. So, typically you'd be walking in with 20%, and that would be an 80% lend. And at 80% of the loan, you've got no lender's mortgage insurance. You're essentially treated as the same as if you had a 20% deposit under the first home guarantee scheme. So the government will guarantee 15%, meaning that the bank will treat you as if you're only borrowing 80%, but they will lend you up to 95%. Therefore, you can purchase with as little as a 5% deposit. And there are 35,000 spaces that have just gone live from the 1st of July 2023 to the 30th of June 2024. So for this financial year, 35,000 spots. And that's amongst 37 lenders, which are the panel that are available to all the first home buyers.
Which is awesome, guys. So do you know off the top of your head, Zach, whether all those spaces got used up last year or whether actually filled out before the end of the year, financial year?
It got pretty close. I know NAB ran out right down to the wire. So, on the Friday, there was still a couple of applications that we were able to submit with the last remaining places. So they've got the allocations pretty dialed. They know how many people roughly are going to be in the category. So they definitely do get used up. If it's the right time for you and you can afford it, don't wait around, because it is very powerful, only having to save 5% and be able to get into the property market.
Well, it's a great reason to get in with your preferred lender on the panel and talk to your broker this early on in the financial year. It will really position yourself nicely if you're planning to buy over the next 12 months. So there's some pretty big changes there that I think needed to be pointed out for anyone looking to buy in the current marketplace. If you know any friends or family that are looking, get them to share this video. As far as finance goes, Zach is the man. He works very closely with a lot of first-home buyers, particularly alongside the buyers coming through our open homes. So it's great to have you, Zach. Anything else to add?
Mate, probably to check out the stock that you've got, because for people in the area, there's certainly now more opportunity with the changes. So yeah, check out what Billy has on his list, and he should be able to place you somewhere. But yeah, thanks for having me, mate. Pleasure,
guys. That's a wrap. In short terms, the saving you'll make in the change in stamp duty around that $800,000 purchase price is about 30 grand. It can scale up. It's more than anything, it's opened up your options. I think we're going to see a lot of buyers taking advantage of this. You'd be crazy not to. And if you fall under any of that eligibility, or you have any questions, reach out to us. We'd love to assist.